I'm sorry, I've left you guys waiting for such a long time for a new AC Unity video, but I promise, this fresh new batch that I've just got in is more PP hardening than that time when you put your Xbox controller down on your lap and it started vibrating. You weren't sure whether it was just happy to see you or an in-game QuickTime event, but either way you still filled up that headphone jack. I just want to give a quick shout out to Björn van den Hatter. Thank you for being a top tier Voiy Bois, my friend. Arno meets up with Elise at the cafe to try and convince her that him and the Brotherhood have the resources required to try and find the person who was really behind her father's murder.
I haven't changed that much, Elise. I'm still the same boy who distracted the cook while you stole the jam.
Arno may have just said the most Tory sentence of all time. I mean, that's exactly how I imagine banter sounds in Buckingham Palace. Obviously without the background noise of victimised children echoing through the hallways. Tory or not, Arno managed to get Elise, the daughter of a Templar, to come and talk to the assassins. And I'm sure this wasn't how Arno would have imagined his first time blindfolding Elise would go, but hey, baby steps, I guess.
Parlay my arse! This is a trick! To make us lower our guard! I say we kill her, send her head back as a warning.
Clearly having a Templar around was angering the other assassins, so Mirabeau said that himself, Arno and Elise would continue the conversation in private at another time. Arno then tells Elise about the silversmith that we saved from the Templars last episode called Germain. But then Elise just starts sprinting away like a guy called Zeke who's just heard that there's an ultimate frisbee tournament going on round the corner. Luckily Arno has plenty of experience in the chasing women department, so catching her up wasn't too difficult, but it was then just the awkward situation of the game wanting me to follow her, but then also wanting the pride and egotistical glow that comes with beating a smaller, less athletic woman in a foot race.
François Germain was my father's lieutenant.
What?
I would very much like to ask him a few questions.
So would I.
When Arno found Germain in his workshop, being Delasaire's cast-out lieutenant was something that he failed to mention. Then again, telling someone about your personal life when you've just met them isn't always the smoothest move. Like when I first met this girl that I'd been stalking on Facebook for a few years, I mean, admiring from a distance for a few years because we definitely went to the same school and I didn't totally just watch through a hedge. My opening conversation to her was telling her how I made videos on the internet that young people commented and told me made their pee-pee hard. And she responded by calling me a creep and walking in the other direction. Looking back on it now, I would have rephrased what I said to pee-pee hardening and vaginal wetting, because I think the reason she called me a creep and walked away is she's against homosexuality and thought I was gay. Looks like I managed to dodge myself a bullet there though, because who would want to be dating a homophobe?
Oh no. Look. It's him. The bastard killed my father.
We have to tell Mirabeau as soon as...
And there we had it, definitive proof in his book of secrets that Germain, the silversmith, was indeed the one behind Monsieur Delasaire's murder. I've never understood why villains in games and TV shows, even movies, always seem to have a book of secrets where they write down all their bad deeds. It's always going to come back round to bite you in the ass. Do you think I write down in my journal that I have people in my basement? No, I'm not that stupid. I just tell people about it on YouTube, where it has the potential to reach an audience of billions of people across the world. Arno, on his way to meet Mirabeau and Elise, where she was already waiting for him, in order to discuss Germain and hopefully get the blessing from Mirabeau to assassinate Germain, I realised that I hadn't bought Arno a new hood in quite some time. And after a little bit of browsing, I decided to go with the improved Phantom hood, because I really felt like it made him look like a unique assassin with this mask that came built in. Yes, it was also the same kind of mask that people attending an 18th century orgy party would also wear, but hey, you can give off assassin vibes and orgy vibes at the same time, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Arriving at Mirabeau's place with Elise already there, I thought that he may just be getting in a midday power nap as he is getting on a bit in age these days. But no, turns out he was actually dead. And Arno couldn't report it to the council just yet, as they would obviously go straight to Elise and blame her. So it was time for Detective Arno to arrive on the scene and get some evidence on who or what killed Mirabeau. Look, I know that there's maybe bigger things on the table right now, but I do also find it quite rude that Elise didn't even take 2 seconds to compliment Arno's new appearance. He's just spent absolute bank on this 17th century equivalent of Louis Vuitton, and she's not even taking a peep. Within about 2 minutes, we found a chalice which had clearly had some poison in it thanks to Elise's heightened sense of smell. Now knowing what was used to kill Mirabeau, Arno could finally report it to Master Quimar in the council.
Please, give me a little more time. I'll find the killer.
Very well. You have until tomorrow morning. No later.
Wow, one day to find the killer. It's a good thing we're not the Portuguese police investigating Madeleine McCann's disappearance, eh? Once Quimar had finished up telling us about a doctor who sells large quantities of aconite, the poison used to kill Mirabeau, I then just took a minute to observe the assassins who were inside this chamber underground and what they actually do of their daily life. And it's no wonder that Arno is the only assassin that ever gets anything done round here. They literally just sit there stroking their weapons like a teenage boy that's just found out Lisa Ann's backlog on one of those educational adult websites. Arno and Elise find the guy who sells these large quantities of aconite, and he proceeds to tactfully drop everything he's doing and run away, which doesn't at all make him suspicious, but running away would achieve absolutely nothing for him. As we saw earlier, Arno can run faster than a dad trying on his new runners in Sports Direct for the first time.
You're with the other one, aren't you? The hooded man.
Tell me about this other one. Who is he?
I don't know. I never saw his face. Ah! He threatened to kill me if I didn't give him the poison. I didn't ask questions.
A hooded man. So it was either a fellow assassin or a roadman that killed Mirabeau. Anyway, he gave us a location of where he dropped off some aconite, so it was time to use Elise's incredible sense of smell once again and track down where said person went once he retrieved the aconite. Although Elise's sense of smell is useful, let's hope it's not similar to that of a dog's where she can smell diseases on people, because otherwise Arno's hopes of possibly holding hands with her before marriage are completely out of the window. We reached where the trail ended and Elise hadn't yet mentioned that she'd gotten a whiff of HIV coming off of anyone, so the hand-holding hopes were still alive for Arno.
You'd better come back to me.
Well, let's hope that she also can't smell semen, because after that comment, Arno's trousers were about to be crispier than my bed sheets when I found out about Lolly.
Took you long enough, piss pot.
Bellec.
Should've known it'd be you that'd find me. Only question is, what happens now?
You poisoned Mirabeau.
He poisoned us! Peace with the Templars is a fairy tale.
Bellec, the man that knew Arno's father. The man that trained Arno to being who he is today. The man that also couldn't handle peace with the Templars, so he poisoned Mirabeau. He had betrayed the Brotherhood, and it was time for Arno to assert his alpha dominance upon Bellec. In a fight that, quite frankly, had a lot more quick time events than I was expecting, and it was a lot easier than I was expecting. I had more trouble fighting these little geezers with the funny hats than I did fighting Bellec, a trained assassin with years of experience under his belt. One of his only advantages in the fight was him being an assassin, and he was easily able to get lost in the shadows. But when you have a stepdad as sneaky as mine, you're used to looking for elderly men in the shadows. That right there is where Bellec went too far. You can kill our master, betray the Brotherhood, curb stomp a baby, or tell us why you don't think communism is a great idea, but apologise and all will be forgiven. However, aim a firearm at Arno's girl and take away the possibility of him escaping the friend zone one day, and you're just asking for the wrath of John to strike down upon thee. It must have been emotional for Arno to assassinate the guy that trained him, broke him out of prison, and was really good friends with his father. And over here we do usually have a bros before hoes approach, but when the bro has tried to frame the hoe, you gotta go with the hoe, bro. In this game, sometimes the ZaKsterG stuff can be kind of alright. Like this time, we had to jump into a portal for the world to not collapse, but in order to get to that portal, we had to travel back to World War II. Or technically, forward to World War II. Timelines can be more confusing than those mixed messages my uncle keeps on sending me. Like he'll DM me a picture of his dick, and then the next day when we meet with family, tell me not to talk about it. This portal is at the top of the Eiffel Tower, so we have to climb all the way up there. And it's really unfortunate that the Eiffel Tower isn't in the main game, just because Ubisoft were too lazy to put it in there. Like they say they want to be historically correct, and then you don't even put something as iconic as the Eiffel Tower in Paris. All this scene really did for me was make me realise how badly we need a World War Assassin's Creed at some point. It doesn't matter if it's World War 1, 2, or 3. Yes, I'm aware that World War 3 hasn't happened yet, but with the way that 2020 is going, would we really be surprised if it was to break out sometime soon? Imagine how good it would be playing an assassin in World War 2, your main target being that racist, bigoted, disgusting man that is Winston Churchill. Far-right Twitter is going to be absolutely fuming at that joke. And in what was one of the weirdest experiences since that time when I took acid, and it didn't give me a high, it just gave me third-degree burns all along my throat and on my stomach lining, we got to use a fully automatic machine gun in an Assassin's Creed game. I never thought I'd see the day, but here we are, doing America proud. Back through the portal Arno went, and that was the end of Assassin's Creed World War II. It was fun while it lasted. That leaves this video off at sequence 8. We have sequence 8 and 9 for the next video, and then for the last one after that, we have sequence 10 and 11, the end of the game. I have those recorded, I just need to edit them. So if you want them as soon as possible, be sure to leave me a comment and let me know. As always, if you have any other game suggestions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and an extra little shout out to those of you who support me on YouTube memberships. Thank you guys for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. I just want to give a big shout out to my motherload Voiy Bois and those above. Gerardo Cruz, Wolves of Valhalla, and Björn van den Hatter. Thank you guys for your support.